Microsoft is removing the bypass NRO command. While there's still ways around this shows that Microsoft wants you to have a Microsoft account. Of course, Windows 11 comes with OneDrive pre-installed and activated. Now a bug is being praised because it removed something? Usually people are upset when features are removed. I guess no one particularly cares for Copilot. No, I'm not talking about GitHub Copilot or Copilot 365. I'm talking about the one pinned to the taskbar by default. I also can't leave out that the new Copilot Plus PCs, that's another different Copilot, are going to effectively record your screen constantly, which is just spyware. Now the best way to fight against this is to use Linux or Mac OS, but some people just can't. So while I recommend choosing a different operating system if you can, here are some tools and methods to make Windows more tolerable. I just have to use Windows sometimes. Sometimes I need it for school, maybe I want to use CS2 workshop tools, or play kernel level anti-cheat games with friends. While I daily drive Linux, having a Windows partition can come in handy sometimes. I've recently decided I want to reformat my PC and distro hop to Arch. Subscribe if you want to see that later. And I decided I would take this opportunity to reinstall Windows and debloat it. The Windows installation I've been using is around 3 years old and has been really slow, and I've done no debloating to it. So along with all Microsoft's garbage, it also has a lot of HP garbage, like their software and McAfee. I've been meaning to reformat my PC at the beginning of the year and ended up pushing it away until now because I'm lazy. It took a whole weekend to back up all my important files before the reformat. It took a good chunk of the day to install Windows updates. So I guess I'll just go download the Windows 11 ISO from Microsoft's website and drag it onto a USB with Ventoy installed, along with all my other Linux ISOs. It took about an hour to move the ISO to my USB stick because my USB stick only supports USB 2.0 speeds, and it was thermal throttling. But that's not important to you right now. If you don't have a Ventoy USB, just use Rufus, and I believe it also lets you bypass some Windows 11 requirements if that's important for your system. I also took out all my drives and unplugged my external drives I'm not going to use, as I don't want to install Windows to the wrong drive. Once I boot into my fancy gaming BIOS with mouse support, I go to the boot menu and select my USB. Now I'll boot into the Windows installer and go through the installation as normal for now. And here's why I took out all the drives except the one I'm going to install Windows to. How am I supposed to know which of the 3 1TB disks I own to install to when there's no labels? This disk used to be my Linux install, so I'll just delete all the partitions and begin installation on this disk. No worries, I backed up everything important to an external drive, I think. After waiting for the installation process to finish, I can move on to the Windows 11 setup. First I have to make sure I can sign in without a Microsoft account, and since they're removing bypass NRO soon, why not try out a new method? I saw this method on Chris Titus Tech's YouTube channel. The first thing you do is open a command prompt by pressing Shift plus F10. Now type in the command start space ms-cx8 local only and press enter. This will bring up a new window that will allow you to pick a username, password, and security questions to make a new local account. It also skips the rest of the setup, including prompts to buy an Office 365 subscription, OneDrive subscription, Xbox Game Pass subscription, and it skips many other annoyances. The only thing you have to do is disable all of these tracking settings. One of the first things to do is activate Windows. I somehow have Windows already activated even though this is a new install on a different hard drive and I haven't signed into any account or typed in a key. But I guess I won't ask questions and just take the W. If you don't feel like paying for a license, Linus Tech Tips has a video that goes over some of the different methods of acquiring a Windows license. Alright, now that I'm in the OS, I'll just install OBS through Winget real quick and move over to a screen recording. Just even looking at this desktop is disgusting. There's so much stuff to debloat. I don't want to learn about this picture. I don't want Microsoft Edge as a desktop shortcut and pinned to my taskbar. I don't want widgets on my taskbar. I don't want a search bar with ads in my taskbar. I don't want a start menu filled with apps I'll never download. I really do not want Copilot pinned to my taskbar. And no, I do not want OneDrive. We've got a lot of work to do. Before I continue, I just need another browser. You can actually install Firefox without even needing to open Edge. Just use Winget. It's like a Windows package manager. We're going to use a program to help debloat Windows and just make it better. This will save time and make everything much easier. Remember Chris Titus Tech from earlier? Well, he has an open source utility for Windows, aptly named WinUtil. It's full of tools that will help clear out the bloat and make your system run faster. I would really recommend it. I believe it's best used with a clean install, but as long as you make a backup, you can use this on your current system as well. When it comes to actually running it, you don't even need to install the program. Just open an administrator terminal and run this command, which can be found on the official GitHub page. The command just downloads the script and pipes it into IEX to run without even downloading. You can download pretty much any app from this utility and it's pretty convenient. I still prefer installing things myself through Winget, but this also uses WinGet, so I have no idea why I don't just use this. There are tons of tweaks for getting rid of telemetry, useless features, and other bloat. If you hover over the tweaks, you can see what they do and if it's something you need or not. I feel like these tweaks are essential for setting up Windows. If you let me be a Linux snob for a moment, I just want to note that you don't have to do any debloating on Linux. Distros like Mint are easier and faster to set up than Windows, and you don't have to do any debloating. There's also some customizations you can tweak straight from this menu to speed up the process. There's some essential things that need to be disabled like mouse acceleration and sticky keys, unless those actually help you and you want to keep them on. Also, why is show hidden files and show file extensions off by default in Windows? Hasn't this caused many people to get hacked because they disguised exes as PDFs and other files? It's not like keeping this off by default is making the OS more clean. It's got much more concerning problems than file extensions. That aside though, there's also an option to add an ultimate performance profile which disables some effects but your computer will run smoother. In the config you can install some features like Hyper-V for virtualization, WSL for Linux access within Windows. There's also some fixes and other stuff like setting up auto login so you don't have to type in your password every time you start up your computer. While I wait for these features to install, I'll do a little bit of customization. I'm just going to set a black wallpaper for now. Maybe I'll change it sometime, but this is fine for now. You can check the terminal to see if the features are finished installing. Once they are, we can move on. There's an option to open a program called O&O Shutup 10++, which I haven't tried before now. There's some good options for getting rid of extra bloat. Some of them overlap with WinUtil, and some are advanced and should probably be left alone if you don't know what they do. I toggled some of the options in hope of a cleaner install. So far it's looking pretty good compared to what it started out as. After modifying the system with all these tweaks and customizations, it's a good idea to give the computer a restart to make sure everything properly applies. Some people may consider the NVIDIA app to be bloat, but I don't mind it too much, and the automatic driver updates are convenient. I didn't record it, but I also made sure all the Windows updates were complete along with any other drivers it had to download. Yes, I still use Firefox even after the new policy. Kinda sucks, but I haven't gotten around to switching. I guess I'll try Florp or something in the future. I just really like syncing my browser history and tabs through Firefox Sync. For now I'm just gonna try to debloat Firefox as much as I can without hardening it or anything. You shouldn't have to debloat your browser, which is why I want to find a replacement in the future. I'm going to go uninstall every app that I don't need, most of which are from the Microsoft Store. I'll download some replacements and utilities myself. I'll get 7-zip for archiving. Still don't know why anybody uses WinRAR in 2025. If I'm going to use Windows for some things, I might as well make it familiar with some KDE apps. Kate as a text editor and Haruna for playing media. I don't want no Microsoft Store calculator or Microsoft Solitaire, so why not just download the Windows XP versions of those apps and use them instead? It's a little weird seeing these apps on a modern computer, but at least they're lightweight. After some final adjustments to start up apps, I think I'm pretty much done. The rest of the stuff I need, I'll install it whenever I get around to using it. I think it's safe to say that this install is much more usable than my old one, or just a default Windows install in general. I would recommend you try this out for yourself if you use Windows. Just remember to make backups if you're trying out an existing install, and with the efforts and passion of the community, it is possible to fight against Microsoft's shenanigans. If you try these debloating methods or plan to, let me know in the comments. Also, if I missed something and my install is still bloated somehow, bring it up in the comments as well. If you enjoyed this video, you might be interested in another video coming up where I install Arch Linux during my PC reformat. Thanks for watching to the end, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.